Bài đầu tiên xin phép được mời chị Sophia từ tổ chức Focus on Global South, một tổ chức làm các cái nghiên cứu cũng như các hoạt động về chính sách ở trong khu Mê Công về chủ đề kinh doanh nông nghiệp và trong đầu tư ở Hạ Mê Kông. Xin mời chị Sophia.
Morning. My name is Chrek Sophea. I am with Focus on Global South. I am Cambodian, but recently I moved to live in Bangkok and based there. Well, we have two versions of this presentation, and I apologize. The version in English has been revised yesterday and last night. So for the translation might be slightly different, but not much different. I just take out some of the data and information. So what I am going to do is to present a few sort of important trend which is happening in the Mekong region. So one of which we'll be looking at these policies and framework within these regional and global trends, and then also looking at this new generation of free trade agreements. And within that, I will pick up one of the regional framework, which is well known, the Greater Mekong Sub-region Economic Cooperation, which has been introduced and strongly influenced by the ASEAN Development Bank in these regions. And within that, I will go into this issue once again of the ASEAN Development Bank in terms of regional investment framework by stressing on some high priority projects for the implementation between 2014-2018 in the Mekong sub-regions. And then we'll choose two sectors to looking at. So one is energy, specifically on this hydropower development, and also this investment in terms of agriculture. The last one will be focusing on the investment laws and trend and its course on environment and humanities. Next slide, please. Well, if you read this quotation, I took it from one of the ASEAN Development Bank representatives many years ago. So to ASEAN Development Bank, they see human and nature's endowment as way to which they can capture it into economic growth. And within this region, economic growth has been pursued, obsessed by both the Mekong government, but also this bank. So, to what discussing about investment flow, we can't avoid looking at what at the bank or the government of this region see these natures and humanities. Next slide, please. And with that, I would like to move toward this regional global framework, which enabling this whole investment trend and flows. So one of which this Greater Mekong Sub-region Economic Cooperation Program, which was initiated earlier in 1998. So this Greater Mekong Sub-region Economic Program is really trying to ensure this economic flow within the region, trying to encourage the investment over the cross borders. And from that is followed by the regional investment framework, which most of it focusing on this investment within the region. So there's the main plan was in 2013 and 2022, which focusing on investment over 200 investment program. And in that investment program, investment in infrastructure has been huge promoting, and more than 300 billion US dollar has been allocated. With the regional investment framework for the short-term implementation program 2014-2018, three major issues that they brought to discussion in place was the investment in infrastructure, which is basically to really looking at this economic corridor, which trying to link up one country to another. But also it's looking at this energy sector, which more likely to ensure that the energy is established so that they can channel towards supporting the investment or economic corridor as well. And apart from that, it's of course most likely focusing on the agriculture. Follow with that is another initiative which was initiated mainly by the Thai Prime Minister, the previous Prime Minister, Thaksin Shinawatra. It's called Ayayawati Chao Hạ Mê Kông Economic Cooperation Strategy, which most likely focusing on the cross-border economic, which trying to making sure that the economic at the border is turned into a more economic growth. So for Thai government, this is something by which they want to really develop the economic corridor. It has been pushed back for some time for the AMEC because of the change of the government. But lately, we see this sort of pushing back by the current military government. And within that, last year the forum was taking place here in Hanoi. And this state, the government has tried to revive this sort of initiative again by ensuring that this border trade will be pushed through. Which means that for Thai, they will benefit by investing or setting up investment in the border constant of Thailand, Cambodia, Thailand with Burma, and Thailand with Laos, by which constant the special economic zone will be setting up there. And to them, it's a way that also the Thai government claim as way to really send back these immigration workers rather than to really bring them into the city. So that's one thing. Another one is this recently newly formed initiative by Chinese government, the Lanchan Mekong Cooperation. But this is very much linking with trade investment within the Mekong, and this is also attached to the ASEAN Infrastructure Investment Bank. And for China, this is really the initiative toward trying to push the investment and the investor. And in case the community who impact by the project want to shoot them and want to raise the concern, they are not allowed to do that. So this is something which we really worry. Okay, next slide please. And this is one of the things that I mentioned about within this whole regional global framework. So one of the push-through which we see and what is happening in the Mekong region is this economic corridor. And if you see, this is the north-south economic corridor which link from China to Thailand. And also this east-west corridor which link from Myanmar to also down to Thailand and also down to Cambodia. And for this corridor for the ADB and the government in this region has been put because they believe that this is going to connect this country in terms of this flow of economic, but also in terms of connecting to the global value chain. Next slide, please. This is what I mean earlier, that within this regional infrastructure framework, this is the implementation program for 2014-2018. And if you see there are 93 projects which will be enforced within this time frame. And if you see there, the investment in infrastructure is very huge, it occupies almost 50%. Next, please. This is the picture that I took from MOC itself, and this is one of the main investment sort of framework within this Mekong region. And this is just to really focusing on this investment in energy and only looking at the hydropowers on the mainstream Mekong region. Is not necessary to really looking at the other way. Next slide, please. Well, investment in agriculture sectors. To whatever extent investment either in energy or investment in agriculture is really to promote this export orientation by introduce these modern technologies. They also use the word sustainability in agriculture, which means introduce more sort of constant smart agriculture, climate smart agriculture, which really costly, and I would like also to hear, because I saw in the program that this will be bring to discussion, But in our debate for this whole climate work, climate smart agriculture is not a solution to really solve the current problems, especially by which the government really pushing so hard in terms of this agribusiness into these whole regions. Next slide, please. Well, many times when we discuss about investment trend flows, we also discuss about its cost. So most of the time the investment trend is in this region is really in the way to extract and exploit the use of the natures. So for instance, a lot of land has been transformed from the agriculture forestry into the big plantation or rubber plantation or castor plantation. And also in terms of the deforestation, the use of this main river in transformed into energy sectors. And this caused at the also rural community patient. Many of them lost their livelihood. They into debt, health stress. Many of them are pushed away from their livelihood so that they have to migrate to other country to earn their living. Many farmers has been converted into laborers or into contract farmers. So in many cases that when their land are taken away, they has no more choice rather than to sell their labor or migrate to somewhere else. Or in other cases, they maybe have to sign contract with the agro-business company because there is no choice for them. And also we see the new sort of wave of land grabbing in rural areas, well, many cases in Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, not sure about Vietnam. And those, they possess the local people from their principle of their lands. And also when they take the land, there's no ensure or also protection toward the sustainable of the land as well. But then if we see at the investment in terms of labors, we see that many labor, intensive labor transform into trafficking, but also in terms into poor working and living conditions. Of course, cheap labors, and of course there is almost no social protection. Well, this is the big thing that we have been discussing within this whole form or whole trend of this investment, which posed a lot of questions around this climate change, which have brought the new challenge of production capacity and livelihood of small-scale producers through this whole country. Next please. So one of these quote I took it from one of respective land activists in Hawaii who has been fighting against the infrastructure investment in that areas, and who is also trying to prepare his community to fight against one special economic zone called a special economic zone. So he believes that if this area has been transformed into the special economic zone, the whole region will be also transformed in stress, which means that farmers will no longer survive within their own territory and also their identities. New way of production in terms of agriculture will be introduced to this whole community, and they have no control over the market. So to him, it's really important that farmer has aware about those projects and ready to fight against that. So this is that. Just want to add toward this presentation, and if we see this whole trend, the one who has more powers to really influence this process, we see that mostly the IFI, the International Financial Institution, the ADB, the World Bank, and recently we got this role of the Chinese government, of course our government as well, who finance the whole investment project and program within the regions. In addition to that, the National Commercial Bank and also Import-Export Bank in countries, for instance, like Thailand, Vietnam, has also played a role. Siam Commercial Bank of Thailand has funded many huge projects in Myanmar and in Laos, as well as Vietnamese bank as well. So we see this also trend of the investment. So I will stop here and discuss about this together, and welcome for any question clarification. Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia.